Welcome back to another edition of Main Point. And my man Kodaq Ray is here. I'm Jermond Wiggins. So let's go ahead and get it right into it. We're going to go ahead and discuss the new rules and the old rules of being a coach.
Oh man, being a coach in NASCAR is changed a lot. Back in the day, man, when we were coaches, coaches were able to do whatever they really wanted. They could stand over here, they could have an entourage with them, they could scream out whatever they wanted. Now in NASCAR, coaches are they're bound to a seat.
They are.
They have to sit down and coach. And also, a coach can no longer call timeout. You know that? And guess what?
I can't call a timeout, but I'm a coach.
No, the fighter has to call a timeout.
I can't do this.
You cannot.
None of this.
No, none of that. None. Then the third one is if the coach gets out his seat even that much or 2
But what if I get a cramp? Oh!
If you get a cramp, it's a point over here. So they're giving out penalty points for coaches getting up now. What do you think about that, Jermond?
Wow, that's kind of, man, when you think about, coaching and the responsibility of a coach, obviously is to motivate their fighter and, keep everything fair. So when you ask me, getting up out of a seat is a point to the other side. I personally think it's a little bit extreme. And
Me too.
that's only because that point could decide a whole match, Now, granted, they should know the rules. I get it. But with emotion and passion and a lot of stuff on the line, it's hard to confine a person to a seat, especially certain, coaches. I mean, I've seen some coaches who have the fire, right up under them and they have to stand up. And to give a point to my opponent because my coach stood up, that's a little bit over, the boundaries because for one, you work hard for points anyway, whether you got good or bad judges. Two, I don't want to give this other guy a point. So yeah, it is important to make it clear to your coach that, hey, don't stand up.
Hey, and also, what kind of rules do they have in NBL? Is that the same?
Well, yeah, those are some of the different rules that, if you go from league to league, there's a different set of rules. So, for an example, with the NBL, coaches are allowed to stand. Coaches can call timeouts. And coaches are not allowed to step in the ring or touch the fighter. Now, if they do that, then that's a point to the other side.
See, we can touch in NASCAR. The coach can touch the fighter.
They can touch the fighter.
They can touch the fighters, and they're not supposed to step in the ring. But during a timeout, they can approach the judge if they put their hand up and say, "Excuse me."
So they have to notify
You have to notify the judges first.
I mean, how can one remember so many rules, Kodaq? I mean, what if it's a guy who goes all over the circuit, from NASCAR to NBL? Man, that's a lot of rules. I mean, wouldn't it be great to have like a universal set of rules, Karate World? I mean, that's my question. Would it be great to have that?
Well, I don't know that it could be a universal karate rules book because there are different leagues. Now, different leagues are going to have
But the coaches are fighting, Kodaq. They're coaching.
Coaches, well, see, now you're asking two different things. Should there be a universal rule book for rules in general, meaning rules for fighters, coaches, or whatever, or a universal rule book for just coaches? You know what I mean? That's where we have to come to because there's a NASCAR, NBL, ISCA, so many other circuits that are going on, and everybody has different rules. PSKL, MASMO.
I get it.
All these things, they have different rules. But what you can't do is you can't tell everybody to come up with a universal rule book.
Well, I understand that.
Some people give 2 points for a kick. Some people give one.
I get that.
Things like that.
I do totally agree with you. You can't just have one rule book for everybody across the board. But some stuff is just silly, I mean, come on. You telling me that if my guy gets up, my instructor gets up, he might cost me the fight here, But
Dude, that this weekend was just the Battle of Atlanta, right?
Absolutely, and I've seen this happen.
It happened.
But some people got away with getting up and didn't get points to the other side.
That is. Well, I got up a few times and a few of my kids didn't get
There you go.
But I'm not. My brother Jesse, the coach of Team Next Level, they were fighting Team Velocity, and it cost them the match. Jesse got up for 1 second, and the other team was giving a point. It was argued by Jeremy Roque and you did argue the crap out of that call because you got it, and it made y'all win. And it was argued by Jeremy Roquet. He argued it to, I think the center referee was Mr. Anthony Price, and they actually called an arbitrator, Mr. Charlie Lane, and they gave a point to Velocity. Next level in Velocity went into overtime, and guess what? Velocity wound up winning by 1 point. So if that 1 point they wouldn't have gotten that 1 point, the match might have never went into overtime.
I mean, does it affect the fight though? You know, at the end of the day, it having this guy sitting.
It just
what
affected
affected in that case
the result.
Right. But what I'm saying
ending
is,
result.
Well, yeah, exactly. What I'm saying is, does it affect the fight to have the coach sitting down though? Is it enough to say, hey, you need to sit your butt there right now and don't move, and the only thing you can just do is talk to your fighter, but you can't stand up? I think they need to take the restraints off there.
See, also,
I feel like I coach a lot better from a standing position because I feel like my fighter, you know, he can either hear me better. I don't know. I just feel more comfortable with standing if I'm coaching someone versus sitting down.
If anyone knows, when I'm coaching my kids, I'm jumping up and down. Whenever they score, I'm like, oh. I get excited for them because I'm passionate, especially for people I'm working with, my kids, my group, my teams, my family. I'm going to be the most excited for it. But I think that they made this rule to kind of neutralize people's entourages or teams. Because if you notice, there's one person behind the fighter now, which is the coach, and he has to be seated, and they want everybody off to the sides.
But everybody's not off to the sides, Kodaq. Let's be real here. Everybody is grouped around. They're trying to see the match. You know, I mean, come on. This doesn't make any sense to me. I understand that.
They want to neutralize the entourages, I think, and keep the voices down and try to keep the referees from being confused and things like that. I'm like, listen, in the NBA, guess what? The coaches are standing up. In the NFL, guess what? The coaches are standing up. So guess what? Coaches stand up. All right, they get motivated. They feed off the game. Just like fighters get hyped and feed off their coaches and teammates, coaches get hyped off of their fighter. And they want to react as well. Or if their fighter is not performing up to par, they want to scream at them and give them some passion. Why can they not be allowed to stand up? And also, why do people care about an entourage of a team? All right, some judges really, I feel like, are more egotistical and worry about what's going on outside the ring than what's inside the ring.
True.
That should be a rule. If a judge is caught even addressing someone from the outside of the ring, they should be removed. You know why? Because you're being egotistical. This is not about you right now. This is about these fighters out there, and they deserve 100% of your divided attention. You signed up to be a judge, all right? If you're a promoter, this is a part of what you do. If you're a corner judge, you volunteered to sign up to judge that day. If you want to sit there and talk to somebody outside the ring, go join them.
Well, then who's going to judge? We just find a replacement, right?
Get a replacement.
So what do you guys think? Do you think that it's a little bit overboard to charge the other team a point because their coach stood up and maybe, you know, got excited or trying to make a point? I mean, how do you think, you know, that is as far as point fighting, you know, is it too much? I think it's too much. I think it's too much.
I'm going to leave that up to you guys.